Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Niche Nation podcast, where we are here to get into the uncut, raw truth and dig to the roots about what is really about your experiences and your journeys. This isn't something that we sugarcoat or what we bring into you. We are here for all of our stories, finding out maybe we're not as unique as we think we are because we have a whole nation wanting to bring you home and have the abilities to really work with you and your healing journey. So today we are honored to welcome in our Lady V to the stage and to your beautiful experiences to listen with us. She is not only here to be a coach, a guide, an inspiration, but she is here to allow you to roar into your greatness. So again, Lady V, take it away, my dear. Let's know a bit more about you.
Hello, 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 hello. Hey, I am Lady V. I am your favorite spiritual release coach. That means that I'm not your typical usual him humming coach. I'm gonna say that. I am the coach that likes to go down to the nitty gritty, down to the bottom where the sticky stuff is, where the people don't like to go. That's where you can find me because I know that you can't heal until you break, meaning that you can't heal until you get to the bottom of the foundation, to the core and the root of the problem. And you got to pull it all the way up so that you can replant your seed and actually, rebuild who you are. And so that's who I am. I am a lupus advocate. I am a author consultant. So I wear many, many hats, and I also am a podcast host as well. So I do many, many things. But my first love is making sure that people can share their stories and transform their lives. Man, one story, one book, one transformation at a time. So that's who I am. And so, hey, thank you for having me. I'm grateful to be here.
I'm just so excited. When we first did our little hello and welcome with each other a couple of weeks ago, I just was like, where did I lose a sister along the way? Because, girl, it is dangerous how well we literally are two peas in the pod trying to get to that root. And like you said, it is to break it, to figure it out, shake it, and then understand what the hell was that for. But
For
knowing
real,
that
for real.
guides like us out there to help with it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mhm.
Hey, people need that. People need that understanding. They need that guidance because a lot of times life be just beating us up, and we have so many ways and so many directions that we trying to go. And a lot of times we lose our way, and we just need a little guidance to find
Mm.
which way we're going. And so, hey, here we are, ready to help you.
Right? Well, and we know here at the Niche Nation, and for all of those that will be new to listening to Lady V's story, her teachings, her guidance, and just her raw love, that is what I feel with you. I just like there is a purposeful love when you are connected and speaking, and I really want to, showcase that awareness that even through hell and back, we are able to figure out that they don't get to take that away from us. You get to keep that till the day you die.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. We really do. We have
Mhm.
to just know that it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
Just simple. It is okay to not be okay. Why do
Yeah.
we always feel like we got to mask it? And because society has told us that we have to be strong, that we have to be this way, we have to live that way. That's the reason why we all running around here confused and lost. Well,
Mhm.
not maybe I don't live there anymore. I don't reside there no more. So some of us we still over there just running around, still lost. But man, it's okay to not be okay. And there's a lot of days where I wake up and guess what? I'm all right with not being all right. Some days I don't want to get out the bed. Some days I don't want to do no work. Some days I don't want to talk to nobody. And guess what? It's okay. I'm
Mhm.
not beating myself because I don't want it. Because it's okay. I live in that moment And then I get out of that moment. And then I start getting back to my reality of what it is I need to do for me because it's
Mhm.
my journey. This is my satisfaction. I'm like, okay, all right, I done sat here and laid around enough. Okay, let's get up, let's get to action. You gotta be your biggest cheerleader. And it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
And Lady V's okay with not being okay.
1,000%. And I think that's where so many people in the healing journeys, the guidance, the help, the awakenings that everybody wants to throw words at, it is a journey. That is why I've removed myself from being the healer, the provider, the guru, those titles that everybody's just clinging to. It is a life tour guide and a coach to get you through there. And I think that's where we got Karch Cotoette over here as Miss Lady V. And then we have, me as your tour guide saying, like, these wild animals out in your jungle might be a little rangy.
Okay. Okay.
Right?
Somebody watch out now.
Right? But what is the sauce of your journey? What the heck made you get into being this spiritual release coach, this awakened person of who you are today? Let's dig into a bit of your story, my dear.
Hey, no problem. For me, it's all about shattering the silence. I don't want to break it anymore. I feel like we've broken it too many times. And what we do every time we break it is we take it and we piece it back together. And it don't look the same. And it ain't what it's supposed to be, but we'll work with it. Well, I don't want to work with it. I'm over it. And in order to be free, you gotta let it go. And so I'm grateful to be able to share my story because if it helps one person to be able to really come out and say, you know what, I don't have to live here anymore. I don't have to reside at this address anymore. Then I know that I've done what God has called me to do. And so I was molested at the age of 8. And I was told that if I told anybody, that he would kill my mom, my sister, he would kill my whole family. And at the age of 8, you like, oh, wait a minute. I can't let you kill my family. You know what I'm saying? So I have to take what I have to take and because I'm scared. And, I've heard so many things in my journey. And this is where a lot of the limiting beliefs come in, is because people fail to realize that an 8-year-old is scared. They're afraid. Even when they're out there in the streets, they are afraid because they don't, everybody is a monster. They are afraid at 8. They're 8. They're not 28. They're 8. And people kept saying, well, you shouldn't have been scared. You shouldn't have been afraid to speak up. And you shouldn't have, it's always what you shouldn't have done until it's sitting and looking them in the face.
Mhm.
And at the age of 8, I didn't know. By the age of 10, I was running away because I was being beat on and I was being molested on. So I was being beat by one parent, molested by the other parent. And it was like, come on. And by 10, I was just running away. I was
Mhm.
looking for a way out. I was trying to run away from the monsters that haunted my house. By the age of 15, I was just really out there. I was looking for somebody to save me, which means that I became a madam at the age of 15 because I was in the streets. And so it was like it was a way of life. It was a way of a little change. And if if I'm being called a hoe and I'm being called all these negative things, then just might as well be one. That's People don't understand that we tend to sometimes run to the things that people say that we are
Mhm.
because we that maybe that's what I am. Maybe that's who I am. I don't know. And so by the age of 21, I was really just a high price call girl. I was working for myself, doing my thing for me. And I was still out there just doing what I was doing. And by the age of 25, I was looking for something. I was trying to still find somebody to save me. Please save me. I didn't know if I needed him to save me from the world, save me. I just didn't know. I just needed somebody to save me. That's all I kept saying. And
Mhm.
nobody would say, people kept using me more than they would save me. And when I lost my grandmother, I literally lost my whole entire mind. I didn't care about nothing or nobody because I felt like God had literally taken the one person who truly loved me in this world. And I was angry. And so basically, I just went on a suicide mission. I just didn't care. And so I was being abused, I was being raped, I was being all kinds of things. I was being stalked, it was just crazy. I was, and I was just looking for something to literally save me. So one day, life kept lifing because life never stops lifing. And, you know, s- the guy that I was dating that I thought was really trying to save me, he was getting married to somebody else and I didn't even know. And so I was like, okay. And so that was where I'm still not worthy. I'm still not enough. I'm still just not. And we start believing that when everything in our life looked the same. And so because he was angry with me because I left, I walked away. He basically told me that I wasn't marriage material. Ain't nobody ever gonna marry you because you are not marriage material, which means that again, I'm not worthy. That's really what it boiled down to. Well, I met this guy. I knew I shouldn't have married him. I knew I shouldn't have. We really was not connected. We really wasn't on the same page. We really just wasn't. But when he told me that, and then he was like, "You gonna be my wife," and I'm like, "Boy, bye." He like, "No, for real, you gonna be my wife." And it really kind of happened the way he said it was gonna happen a little bit. And I laugh at it, but I realized that he married me for stability, and I
Mm,
married him out of spite. I didn't learn until through the marriage that at the end of the day, I had lost me. I was losing me surely, like every day, a little piece of me was leaving.
mhm,
But finally, I had truly lost all of me. I had lost me to the streets. I had lost me to men who really didn't love me. They just looked at me as a sex object. I had lost me to a husband who really didn't want to love me. Because he didn't even want to know anything really about me. It was really just all about him. He was very narcissistic to a point. And he wasn't trying to find out anything about me. It was just all about him and what he needed and what he wanted and how he wanted it. And it was draining me. And it wasn't until I actually left and walked away when I had to ask him about something. And his response to me was, "Well, I had to push you away because I got tired of watching you die." That was like a blow.
mhm,
Again, I'm not worthy. I'm not enough. And I was like, "Lord, I'm tired. I'm tired of not being enough. I'm tired of not feeling worthy. I'm tired of feeling like I'm on this hamster wheel that I can't seem to get off of.
mhm,
I'm tired of being in this place. He said, no, you're not. I still didn't understand it. And then one day I just heard my grandmother just that she always said that one thing. And she said, when you get really tired, and I mean sick and tired, because we can say we tired of a lot of things, but we just keep on doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. But when we get sick and tired, we hurry up and find our way up off that hamster wheel. We hurry up and figure out how to get up out of there, you know?
Mhm. Yeah.
And so I had to understand that. And I heard her say that. And she said, baby, you ain't tired. Because when you get sick and tired, then you'll do something about it. Until then, girl, shut up because you are just complaining about something that you really don't mean. Oh, why? Why are you making me feel like? But
Oh.
that was real. And it was something that I needed to hear right then and there.
Mhm.
And I remembered that one thing because she used to always say that to me, and I didn't understand it then. But at that very moment, it all made sense. It all made sense. Sometimes we forget and we lose the things that our grandparents teach us. And they gave us some real good nuggets and they taught us some things and we don't quite know what that means. We be like, ah, grandma, yeah, okay, whatever, whatever. You know,
Mhm.
but we're listening. But we because it don't make sense. Because it just sound like gibberish to us, right? But when you get older and you start life and start lifing on you, well, them subtle little things you start to remember. And now they all start to make sense. And that's what was happening. It started to make sense. And I surrendered. But it wasn't until he dropped me in the forest to see how sincere was I really. And so when I got dropped in that forest, I could hear the traffic, but I couldn't find the traffic for all the trees. And I sat in that forest for days trying to find my way out. And I heard that still voice who said, when you remember who I am and you listen to my voice, you'll find your way out. And I still try to do it my way, like so many of us do. We still go, I got this. I got it.
Mhm.
Yep. I kept finding myself deeper and deeper in that forest because I had it. I got it. I'm going to do it. Till one day, I just couldn't do it anymore. I surrendered. I mean, gave it all away and gave it all up. That that is actually the day that my life changed. It's the day that my journey began. And when I started being obedient and really start listening to the voice, I started finding my way out the forest. And I remember the day he picked me up because he said that he would. He didn't say mumbling word, but I knew that was the beginning of my journey for me. And so I started on this journey of releasing, rebuilding, and rebranding my voice. That's the reason why I teach it today. And in that process, I had to release a lot of things that I didn't realize I was even holding on to. Why? because we got that sweep it under the rug syndrome.
Mm.
We got what happens in this house stays in this house syndrome. We got that you don't tell nothing syndrome. And in that, we start burying things. It doesn't mean that we're releasing the trauma. It's just trauma built on top of the trauma that we already have. And all we're doing is suppressing it and
Mhm.
adding on and adding on. Now you got this molehill here, and you just adding stuff on. And you never cover none of this stuff here. And it ain't going nowhere. It's still there until you decide that you want to address it. And once I realized that all this stuff was still under here, that's why my foundation was looking like this. Had all these cracks in it and weeds popping up and all this other stuff out of it. I had to realize that, wait a minute, I think I need to start tackling this stuff.
Mhm.
So he said, well, when you gonna do it? And he started taking me through that journey, baby. And I had to learn how to release and dig all the roots, all the garbage, all the foolishness, everything that was up under here. I had to get rid of all that stuff. I had to let it go. I had to literally figure out a way to release it and not just release it and say, okay, well, let me grab this again. No, when it's gone, it's gone. That means you need to throw it out, throw it in the trash, let the garbage man come pick it up, and let him take it on and carry it on back where it need to be. Stop going back out to the garbage saying, wait a minute. Because that's what we do every time we pick up our hurt and our trauma. We just going back out to the garbage after we already threw it away and saying, wait a minute. Let me do this. Get your hands out the cookie jar. That's why I tell people, get your hands out the cookie jar, baby. Because you're coming up short. And we know you the cookie monster.
Mhm.
You ain't telling nobody you got crumbs all on your face. Get your hands out the cookie jar.
Oh,
We know it's
Lord.
you. We know it is you.
Mhm.
So you got to let them go. You gotta do that. And I had to let that go. I had to let that hurt go. And once I let it all go, then I was able to start relaying my foundation
Mhm.
and, and creating and making it steady and sturdy like it's supposed to be without any cracks. But I had to do that for me. And the hardest thing for me to do in my journey was to forgive my molester.
Mm.
That was the hardest thing for me to do was to forgive. But in God's basic instruction, it says, forgive those who trespass against us. I didn't want to.
Mhm.
See, that's my honesty. I didn't want to. And that's where we are. And a lot of the reason why we can't heal is because we can't forgive. We don't want to.
And then I think it just comes back to the next sentence of that. Let us not lead in the temptation,
Exactly.
right? Ugh,
Exactly. Exactly.
lady.
Exactly. We have to know that. And it's hard. It ain't
Mhm.
easy. And I would never tell nobody that forgiving is easy because it is not. It is
Yeah.
not easy. That is the hardest thing for us to do. And that's the reason why we literally sit in our trauma because we don't
Mhm.
want to forget. But then I had to understand. Hmm, He say, okay, you don't have to forgive them. I ain't gonna elevate you either. See, that means that where I'm at was gonna stop. It was just that was it. I'm not gonna elevate you to the next level. Not only am I not gonna elevate you, maybe I won't forgive you either. How about that?
Mhm.
What? You, hold on, Pippin. Hey, let's talk about this. Hey, hey, hey. You say what? You
Me? You ain't forgiving me?
you not gonna forgive me? He said, why? Why should I forgive you when you don't want to forgive him? You don't want
Mhm.
to forgive nobody else. You what? You think you squeaky clean? Oh, let me go back to your books and let me go. Remember this chapter right here? Well, see what had happened was what about this right here? And I was what? Well, see what happened? He said, what about this right here? I said, you know what? You're right. My bad. Tell it like it is. Let me
Mhm.
just sit down in this little corner.
Oh.
Let me sit down.
Mhm.
And I had to realize, what if he said, Tavana, not today. Lady V, nope, not today. I'm not
Mhm.
forgiving you today. How would I feel? See, I'm the only one that got an answer to that. Nobody has the answer to that because when I go, I'm going alone. I don't remember you gonna be there with me. I mean, I know we sisters and I love you, but I don't think you gonna be sitting at the gates with me like, girl, is you gonna get in here? Girl, let me answer the few of these questions for you. No, see, I'm gonna have to do that on my own.
Yeah.
And so I had to be prepared to say, you know what? Forgive those who trespass against me and lead me not into temptation,
Yeah.
but deliver us from evil. Okay, I'm about
Mhm.
to be delivered from all the evil that is haunting me, even at the age of 47. It's haunting me. It's been haunting me for 40 years. You know, it's been haunting me. It's time to let it go. How
Mhm.
do I let how do I let it go? Okay, let's do this. And so I looked him dead in the face and I forgave him. And then I went and I forgave her too. And I let it go. One accepted it, one didn't.
Mhm.
One received it, one didn't. At the end of the day, I cut them both off. And I'm okay with it. Why? Somebody said, well, why would you want to cut your parents off? Baby, I don't give a damn about none of that. It ain't because I don't love them, because I do. But at the end of the day, when I finally learned how to love me properly, if you can't love me the way I love me and the way God loved me, then baby, you don't need to be in my circle because I don't allow toxicity into my world. If you coming up in this little area, baby, we gonna chitty chitty bang bang, okay? Because I'm not fit to let you be up in here like that. You can't know. Like, well, let's not do that. You know, go over there and I can love you from a distance. I don't have to love you in my area. See, a lot of times as individuals, we feel like we have to love people because they're our parents, they're our siblings, they're our friends, they're this or that and this and that and this and that and this and that. Okay, well, yeah, God told us to love all his children and we can love you, but we don't have to fool with you. He did not say that. He said you could put them over there. He said if it hurts you, chop it off.
Yep.
I mean, for real. He said, if it hurts you, chop it off. Well, baby, I'm gonna tell you right now. If you hurt me because you have not figured out how to love me after I've tried to show you how to love me, then you don't
Mhm.
deserve to be in my circle of to try to love me anymore. You only get one time
Yeah.
because I believe that people who really because love don't hurt, love is kind, and love is gentle. See, all this old hurt people, and all this old weird stuff, man. Look, let me tell you something. Stop listening to this foolishness because hurt people only hurt those who allow them to hurt them. Oh, y'all didn't catch it in your spirit. Hold on. You ain't catch it in your spirit. Let me say it one more time for the people in the back. Hurt people only hurt those who allow them to hurt them. Period.
Hats off. Hats off. Amen. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
You can't hurt me because I'm not going to allow you to hurt me. And just because you and your hurtness and your brokenness, well, baby, I can coach you through it. But for you to put your hurt on me, that's not gonna happen because I ain't supposed to allow you to do that, baby. Because as soon as I see it, baby, I done already bobbed and weaved on your sister, brother. Baby, I ain't phased by it. I have already moved out the way. You're hurt because I get that you're hurt, but that's not my fault that you're hurting. But I can love you through your hurt, but I don't have to allow you to hurt me anymore.
Mhm.
And so if that means that putting you in the box and shipping you way over there, that's what I'm gonna do. And then I'm gonna wave at you, hey, but I'm gonna be way over here because I'm happy over here. And people that's over there, they normally mad and sad and depressed and angry with anxiety and all this whole other stuff. And I gotta allow them to be over there because we have to remember that if we continue to allow people to put that on us, we'll stay there.
Mhm.
We'll stay in our hurt. We'll stay in our trauma because we keep allowing people to put their hurt and their trauma on us. Even as a coach, I don't allow them to do that to me. When I get through coaching you, I just package your little bag back up and say, "All right, baby, I'll see you next week." But I had to give it back to you. See,
Mhm.
I gave that back to you because I gave it to the Lord first. And if you decided to take it with you, that was a choice.
Right.
But it don't get to sit in my house, messing up my good air because I got to
Mhm.
breathe up in here, you know? So I mean, you know,
Mhm.
I just can't let you do it. And so this is how we have to heal is by being totally 100% honest with ourselves through our trauma, through our journey. Because until you are, you're just lying to yourself. You're just sweeping things under the rug and acting like they don't exist. And they do. They do.
This is all like 1000%. What is so simple, yet the complex formula that everybody in the industry, in the world, in the cosmos is trying to crack the code. And I think that's where it's just been marketed and manipulated and greedified on it so deeply that it's
There
just like
it is.
that is a we've always said it in business marketing is like that's a recession proof industry,
It is.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because like you said, it is only for those people that keep allowing that hurt to happen. And
It,
that is like so it's like there's nothing more to like add in, filler up, add fluffy feathers to make it or a neon sign to say step on up here. It's facts. It's just that. Because if
Mhm.
any of you are watching and listening to this journey, everything of 2025 as it starts from January 29th, the Chinese New Year, if some of you believe that it is coming up in March for your different calendars, or some of you believe in the traditional January 1st calendar, 2025 is the year of the collective home. You are working on all your foundations, your roots, your mold, your toxicity, the skeletons in your closet, and it is the numerology year of 9.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, how did you then journey from, there was a big theme that you brought into, is that maiden to lady? How did you remove yourself from that discrimination of, as many women um deal with, "Oh, you're a slut because you had sex," or "You kissed a boy," or "You did these things," and really take it away from that mistress to a lady? How did you discover that rite of passage and heal those tones and those voices and those egos, and to figure out your worth? How did you do that?
Y'all, let me tell you, it was not an easy journey, Jesus. Woo! Y'all, let me tell you, it was not an easy journey. I actually went celibate,
Mm.
and that's where I am right now. I had to go celibate. I had done it before I met my husband, so I knew I could do it. But this has been the longest that I've ever just been celibate. Like, I no sex, no nothing. I am like, I'm good. But I had to do that in order to find my worth, because I love sex. I love having it. I love the way it feel. I love the way it tastes. I love the way just everything about it. And I had to know that even though I did, these are the reasons why men will sexualize me, because they know that I'm freaky like that.
Mm.
And they would sexualize me because they couldn't see me past a sexual tint, because that's what I throw off. And men still do that today. They still, and I just be like, because I am not interested.
Mhm.
You are not, I am not turned on by it. Like, because it's more to me than sex. And if all you can see is sex, then I don't want to be with you. I already know that we're not compatible. We ain't
Mhm.
on the same page, because the person that I'm gonna be with, he's gonna understand that there's more to me than just sex, and the sex is just a bonus, baby.
Mhm.
And so I had to turn that off with me. I had to go and dig deep, real deep, and pull some things out. I had to unlearn to relearn who I was, because without the sex, I didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
I didn't even know who I was. I had no idea. So how was I supposed to expect somebody else to know who I am when I have
Mhm.
no idea who I am past the sex? I don't even know how to really have a good conversation. Like, people, like, you feel like I'm having this great conversation with you, but soon as it goes quiet, I'm like, it's so da 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 da. I'm gonna throw sex or something type of in there to make you, you know what I'm saying? And so
Yeah.
I had to realize that it was me that was also doing that, because I had created those habits of protection, of, if I throw sex, then he'll want me. Now
Mhm.
I can feel wanted. but that ain't what I want.
Well, and that's where I wanna really marinate in this moment right now because this is for all of you listening and viewing this. This isn't just about sex. This is about how hard you work, how much compliments, how much addiction, or how much fear that you have about yourself. And it's all of that unworthiness that you just constantly have built on with popsicle sticks. Because I want to bring
Exactly,
this forward is that everything that happens to a soul until they are 13 years old, that is when they will fully experience all of the existence of life. Then they
mhm,
will recycle and journey on that. So at age 8, you learned that that was the only way to know that you are worthy and purposeful and put on this planet at that time. So that is why
exactly,
at coming up to 48 in year soon ish, those are journeys that like you said is 40 years, 4 decades
mhm,
worth of unwinding that initial impact.
exactly,
So that is for all of you that are just this isn't just about sex. This is literally about how were you taught from anything from 0 or conception to where you are of age 13, what was
mhm,
happening in your space because that is going to
mhm,
detail exactly what we're talking about today.
exactly, exactly, exactly. We are what we actually have been through. We
Mhm.
we think even to this day, sometimes we think that our kids is gonna learn what we say, but they don't. They're learning what they see.
Yes. Always. Always, always, always. If I have coached and worked with parents so many of them and for many years. And that is what I say. I give it from a bird eye view as a child that witnessed that, as an adult now to have that conversation with adults to say, I don't give a shit if you keep hiding the cookies and saying you don't do this. They smell your breath. Like you said, you were in the goddamn cookie jar. So either
And
you clean
was we,
up,
the the crumbs all on your mouth.
yeah,
We can see it clearly.
so either we clean our shit up and you deal with that because you can fear monger them. And that's where I really want to touch in on the next question I had. I had little mental notes as you were talking about your amazing journey of when people are told that they're stupid, they're not going to amount to anything, you're a slut, you're an asshole, you're just a piece of shit. Like this is for all genders and generations. We've all been listening to
Exactly.
who is the favorite child or not favorite child or the punching bag of families. How do you deal with that projection that that person who is hurting knows that that was passed down to from their generations on and on and on, that how are you all listening and viewing at this time willing to stop that cycle?
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
when you said to me, sweetheart, I ain't here to just kind of cause a little bit of ripple. I am here to shatter the motherfucking cycles. That is where we have to start taking accountability because I will tell you right now, we are seeing such significant scientific and now living proof of what those damages and ill actions, non actions, or justified actions have been. That is where we are at, ladies and gentlemen. We are walking in the entire petri dish.
Exactly. 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 You are absolutely right about that. For me, it's all about breaking those generational curses. How do I do that? Well, first of all, I had to recognize what they were.
Mhm.
Because a lot of times we don't want to be honest with ourselves. We act like these things are not happening, but it's been for generational, and we just keep on passing it down as if this is what the thing is to do. And that's why it's important for us to unlearn the bull so that we can relearn the correctness, the right way. We have to unlearn all the shit that we was taught wrong. All of that. Because it was wrong. It wasn't right. It doesn't make it right. We have to stop turning the blind eye like as if we don't see it. Because we do. We know it's still the same. It still smells the same. It ain't
Mhm.
changed. It just got another label on it. It just got another color on it. But it's still the same. And we have to take accountability that these things happen. And we have to make it up in our mind and say, you know what? I am going to be the difference. Meaning
Mhm.
that it starts here. Meaning that I am not going to any longer do X, Y, and Z, which means that I'm going to be showing my child that this is the right way, not that.
Mhm.
Because I'm going to be say let's put it on love. Some of y'all love one kid more than you love the other child. I know that I'm a product of it. And you think that, oh, well, this kid don't need as much as this child over here. Not understanding that they both need the same amount of love. That all the kids, you the one chose to have all them kids. What makes you think they don't all need the same type of love? Because they do.
Mhm.
You can't, and if you didn't receive love, now you're not giving love to your children because you don't know how, because you don't feel like it's relevant because you didn't receive it.
Mhm.
Generational, generational curse. We have to acknowledge these things that's happening in our lives that we're passing down to our children.
So how do we then work with, because I am totally guilty of this. We stayed, we knew it was wrong. We literally worked through child social services, we worked through community. I was literally at the RCMP in Canada here office and in the interview room with the officer. And I told him as I'm pulling clumps of hair out of my head after my dad tried to kill me when I was 18 years old, a month before
Mhm.
graduation, that I was willing to just sit there in the numbness. My body's telling me, like, connect to yourself, see what damage you have. That I was still more worried about him not having his guns taken away. And one day we're going to go on that dream African hunting safari because that was everything we talked about when we dreamt about our delusion of what we wish and know what was good about them when they were good people, when they were good to the points, that cannot fucking blind you any longer. Even if you are older now, I'm in over past my 30s now, and I am not going to sit another year blinding myself because it was officially last year when I finally said enough to my grandparents and enough to my dad because that
Mhm.
cannot continue. That
Hey,
can't.
I said the same to my mom and to
Mhm.
my parents. I just was like, enough is enough. And again, you know, at 47, I was just like, I'm done. When I turned 48, I was all right. And I've been okay. I woke up one day and I just was like, I felt a whole freedom that I had never
Mhm.
felt my whole entire life.
Mhm.
I never felt that type of freedom because I had been blinded for
Mhm.
so long. Why? Because I wanted to see the good in them. I didn't want to hurt and I didn't want to hurt them because I loved them as kids. We love our parents so much that no matter how much hurt they put on us, no matter what they do, no matter how they do it, we still love them unconditionally.
Mhm.
That's why so many people who can't have kids like myself, that's the reason why we want to have kids, is because we understand that kids will love you unconditionally no matter what you do to them.
Yeah.
Because all they want is their parents' love.
Mhm.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all kids want is their parents' love. Nothing more, nothing less. So many times we think that, oh, I gotta buy my kids, I gotta do this for my kids, I gotta do this and this and this. And in reality, really just spoiling them.
Mhm.
You ain't teaching them anything. You're just spoiling them and letting them believe that these things is more important than love. And now they grow older and they don't know how to love anybody because if you're not buying them things and gifts, then you don't love them.
Well, and then they don't realize that they're starting to see that this stuff is more important to the person who's like, I have this total theory and explaining an explanation is like, it's grooming. It is a different type of manipulation. This isn't just it's not just sexual. It's not just
Mhm.
cults. It's not just anything. Like that's grooming when you're trying to get something that you know is not obtainable to be attainable because of the way you condition that person, place, thing, or event.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's where I
Exactly.
just struggle with that that experience because we have so many people that are still thinking it's going to get better one day. And I sit with a lot of you that will be listening and viewing this. I have had these conversations with you. And Our Lady V is across a little bit of some land, and it's the same shit over there. And I've got another 47 different interviews that are going to be coming up here soon that are going to tell you across every freaking pond it's the same shit if you're going to
It is.
keep
It
stirring it.
is. It is. It's like this. Why do you keep it's like this. Why keep making the same mistakes and doing this thinking that you're gonna get different results? Because you're not. It's the same way with loving people. Why do we keep putting ourselves through this thinking that it's going to change and they're still going to give you the same thing? They're not going to change. A leopard don't change its spots. It's still the same damn leopard.
Mhm.
This is your time to start loving you because what I learned in my process is once I started to genuinely, because a lot of times we be like, oh, I love some me. And I know that because I was her. I
Mhm.
said it. You could tell me I didn't love me until I realized that I didn't.
Yeah.
And let me tell you when I realized I didn't. Because when the scabs start coming off my eyes and I started to really look at all the things that was going on, I realized that if I truly loved me the way I said I loved me, would I have really put myself through a lot of the stuff that I went through?
Mhm.
See,
Right?
see, it hits different when you think different. When you ask yourself these hard questions that we don't want to answer,
Mhm.
that we don't really realize. But
So
ask yourself, go ahead.
And I was gonna say, so how do you help yourself? Because you and I freaking both know how it feels that you feel so freaking batshit crazy because everything is different. It is like when you watch the movies of The Matrix, you are starting to see shit that you thought never happened, won't exist, won't ever deal with it. You know, you heard that person say this, say that.
Mhm.
Like, how do you navigate that insanity that is clarity?
So for me, I like to sit in meditation. I like to sit in meditation because let me tell you something. When you can learn how to breathe and meditate, you can learn how to cope through the things that you go. For me, meditation means silence and prayer. Meditation can mean a lot of things for a lot of different people. People meditate all different types of ways. And I don't want you to ever think that there's a right or wrong way to meditate because there's not. Now, there is a right or wrong way to breathe. Okay. There is a difference. And you need to get a breathing coach to make sure that you're breathing correctly because sometimes we think we're breathing properly and we're not, you know. But it's about being able to let out the old oxygen to replenish the new. And so when once you learn how to do these techniques, these simple techniques, then you can start saying, okay, I can start breathing through what I need to go through, which means that now I can start focusing and looking at the bigger picture in front of me to be able to understand what's ahead of me, what is in front of me. And so for me, I started to look at that head on and I started to say, how do I love me?
Mm,
And I couldn't answer that because I didn't know what love was.
mhm,
Thought I knew, but I really didn't. And so I asked myself, what is the best love of all? Duh, God's love. You don't get no better than God's love. So I'm like, okay, let me figure out this thing, this God's love thing. Let me figure that out. And once I started to see how he loved me, and he was showing me every single day as I was going through this journey, I was like, okay. I started to pick up those simple little things to understand this is how I am supposed to love me
mhm,
gently, kindly, extraordinary. I'm supposed to have all these tools for love, but I don't because I don't, none of this is coming to me, none of this is possessing in me. And so I had to unlearn the old me, the person that I was pretending to be, because I was living somebody else's life,
mhm.
you know? Because that really wasn't who I was.
Yeah.
I was just living in this fantasy world of pretending this is who I am because I had made her up because I didn't know who the real me was. But
Well, it
once I
goes
started to unlearn to relearn who I was, baby, it
yeah.
was beautiful. It was like a beautiful painting
Mhm.
that started to come to life
Yeah.
that was different and it was shaded different and
Yeah.
in different colors and it was all these wild things and I was like, wow, it's beautiful. But it wasn't the same as it was supposed as society had tried to create it because I
Mhm.
was a never in the box person. I've always been that I'm supposed to stand out. So I don't care how people perceive me because that was my problem. I was so worried about what they think. Oh, I can't act like this because they're going to feel like this. Baby, let me tell you something. I could care less what you feel, what you think. Oh, she too brutal. Oh, she too wild. I don't give a damn. I am who I am. God knows who I am because he created me in his own image and he created me this way. And he created me to be bold and to step on some toes, meaning
Mhm.
that you ain't gonna always like what I got to say, but you'll respect it in the end. Why? Because you know that at least if nobody else told you the truth, I
Yeah.
did.
Mhm.
Lady V told you the truth. You might not have liked it. You might
Mhm.
not have understood it. You might
Mhm.
not appreciate it. You might have a few times, but you respected it in the end
Mhm.
because I'm not gonna be a yes person. And if it's wrong, it's just wrong. And I'm not
Mhm.
gonna tell you that it's right and it's wrong. And if it's a duck and it looks like a duck, it's a damn duck. I'm not gonna tell you that it's a pigeon. I'm not gonna tell you that it's a bird. I'm not fit to tell you that it's an elephant. It's a duck, you know? So
Quack.
yeah, exactly. Quack quack. Oh yeah.
My No, and that's where it's just like, I hope everybody really like, I hope you people re-listen to this about 90,000 freaking more times before you go and text that friend, go to the next family function, have the next conversation with your spouse or be the parent that you're working with at this time. Like, there is so much raw gold that is here that you will never find again. Why it's so simple. It's there. It's not going anywheres. And that is where, when you said that I painted this image of myself, it's because you are like a little computer that just downloaded your own little awarenesses of your emotions and your friends and your community. And so you made up something, unless you were bold and out there and willing not to be deterred from anything else, that we all have morphed and chameleoned into something we wanted to attract or attack. So that
Exactly.
is where God and Creator Ooga Booga, wherever you are in your journey, is trying to expand your, like you said, it's to rip off the scabs, the blinders, your pee hole eyes didn't barely see anything. Is that when you are willing to actually expand and just observe and stop playing God, that will give you the awareness that there is so much for you. And I get that 1,000 ways to Sunday, that people are like, well, he's so different now, and she's so different now, and we don't understand this, and we
It ain't
totally
for you to
abdicate.
understand.
Yeah, no. And that's where it's just like, I apologize that this might end a relationship or family connections or things like that. But I'm telling you, it's ending for the absolute highest good, because this shit can't continue. I'm not going to continue to live in a place that, like you said, I didn't share this because I'm just a bitch, and just because we don't have our parents means that we're just going to destroy and take away everybody else's parents. That's not the point of this. There are amazing families and people, is why I now witness that this isn't okay. Because I saw that there was actual families that will
Me
do
too.
things for family without a fucking give back rain check.
Exactly.
Ah!
Exactly. Exactly. And once I saw that, I was like, wow. And I
Mhm.
embraced it. And I just fall right into it. And I realized that guess what? It ain't always your family that's gonna love you. A lot of times it's a stranger who gonna love you the best and love you the most. And sometimes you just need to embrace it and love on it and let them love on you, honey. And be all right with it. And let me tell you something. You said one thing that I just want to tell everybody is, baby, hey, let me tell you something. Lady V, do not apologize for Lady V.
Mm.
Stop apologizing for being great in you. We cannot roar in our greatness when we apologize for the things that's healthier for us. So if you want me to apologize for being healthy, screw you, because you ain't
Yeah.
gonna get. I'm not apologizing for being great. I'm not apologizing for removing you out of my circle. I'm not apologizing for roaring in my greatness. You can say I'm acting funny. Yep, I probably am, because I ain't tolerating your foolishness. You can say you don't understand it. Yep, you don't. You ain't supposed to, baby, because this ain't your journey. This belong to me. You can
Mhm.
say, oh, well, she thinks she better than us. No, baby, I don't. But what I do think is that I refuse to sit over there with the trauma and with the drama over there while you sitting up there playing pity pack, pack, pack. I don't care. I ain't gonna be over there with you, baby. I got to sit over here and be doing grown woman things, handling my business, not over there sitting in trauma and drama, mad at the world because I am not being in my full potential, my roaring in my great. I'm not gonna be jealous over something else or somebody else. And so, hey, don't apologize, baby. You just be great. And honey, let them be mad. Let them
Mm.
feel a certain type of they be all right. They be all right. I promise you they be all right.
I think the biggest thing to also advocate is that when you're doing this detox, because it's literally like a colon cleanse, it ain't pretty. How did
Exactly.
you how did you detox? So we got meditation, that silence and prayer, that we're not apologizing. We really start to understand our dynamic of what and who we are, and we experience that with the outsider world truly trying to show us that this is available in our spaces. But what were like some other key factors? Because we get this question all the time. How the hell did you do it? How are you trying to mitigate that? And every time you see their Facebook or you see their phone number or they're calling or texting or there was an invitation for a family function and they're going to be there, what did you do to keep that foundation solid?
Well, first I had to realize that I don't owe anybody anything. And once I realized that I don't owe you a conversation, I don't owe you an explanation. I don't owe you nothing. You ain't paying my bills. I ain't paying your bills. You're not if you're not adding to and pouring into me, then that means you're taking.
Mhm.
And I need you to give more than you take. And if you're taking more than you giving, then I don't I have learned how to separate myself and giving myself permission to separate myself because some of y'all don't give yourselves permission to do these things. And that's why you're still stuck and holding on because you
Mhm.
haven't given yourself permission to let go.
There.
Give yourself permission to let go and say that you know what? It's okay for me to walk away. It's okay for me to not hold on to this. It's okay because when I look at the phone, oh, I'll talk to them later. If I don't want to answer, I just don't answer. I don't
Mhm.
owe you to answer. You know, I have people it's crazy because I have people that inbox me all the time, right? And because I don't answer them right away and all this other stuff, they get their panties all in a bunch and they all mad. Why you ignoring me? And you first of all, I don't owe you nothing. I don't even know you. So I don't owe you that. I don't owe you a conversation. If I'm giving you a conversation, that's because I'm choosing to give you a conversation because I'm nice like that, not because I owe you a conversation. And if you're overstepping your boundaries, I don't have to answer that. So when people say, "Where are you from?" I don't answer that. That's not a
Mhm.
question I'm answering. If you really wanted to know where I'm from, check it out on my do your research. Because if
Mhm.
you're asking me where I'm from, then that means you didn't do your research. So you're just trying to start up some simple ass conversation that I already understand that if you didn't even find that out and it's sitting right there on the page, you ain't for me. You ain't
Yeah.
about me. You ain't trying what do you want? Because
Mhm.
apparently you either trying to sell me something that I ain't gonna buy, or you just trying to start a conversation that I ain't gonna buy.
Right.
Either way, I'm okay with it. But I don't owe you these things. And so we have to remember that we don't owe people. I don't owe you a conversation. I don't owe you
Mhm.
that. I'm giving you a conversation because I'm choosing to give you a conversation because I enjoy talking to you.
Yeah.
But it ain't because I owe you that.
Mhm.
You know, I, I,
Mhm.
I, I, I we have to know that and stop allowing people to give us this guilt trip because people, that's what we do. We allow people, oh, you acting funny. Oh, you don't want to talk to me. Oh, you want to blah 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 whatever whatever. And we just get suckered in. Oh well, you right. Well, such and such, I hurt such and such feelings, and oh such. But ask yourself, would they care about hurting your feelings?
Mhm.
10 to 1, they don't. They
Yeah.
won't. They ain't. So why do we care so much about things that we don't owe to nobody? So I've learned to be able to separate myself from that because I tell myself I don't owe you.
Mhm.
Everything I
Mhm.
do, I choose to, not because I
Yeah.
have to, you know? And so if I'm doing these things, I'm doing them because I want to, not because I owe you that. And when you start feeling like I owe you, now I'm about to show you that I really don't owe you nothing. So now I start separating my time and separating my space because I need you to understand that I'm really her. I don't owe you that.
Well,
I'm allowing you to be in my life because I enjoy you and I want you to be in my life, but I don't owe you to be in my life. And just like I don't owe you to be in your life,
mhm.
if you allow me to be in your life, I appreciate it and I don't take that for granted,
Yeah.
which means that I appreciate the time that you give me because time is of the essence and time is short and it ain't waiting on nobody. And
Mhm.
tomorrow is not promised to any of us. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to take your time for granted because I love you. I love you. I love your time. And I'm going to make sure that the same time that you're giving me, I'm giving you. The same
Mhm.
the same ingredients that you're pouring into me, I'm gonna pour into you. Because if it's negative, I already kicked you out of my circle anyway. So I ain't gonna give you no negative energy because I ain't allowed you to pour that negative energy into me. Because I'm not already kicked you out. You was
Mhm.
already booted, you know? But we just have to know that we have to stop giving people precedent over us.
Yeah, and that I was gonna say, like, what we talk about in boundary work is about that. You need to know, how the hell do you function? How do you represent? How do you want to be expressed and loved? And that is your boundary. That is how
Exactly.
you to come back into yourself. And it's not that, well, if you don't call it this time and at this hour, blah, 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 blah. Like, I literally have a rule that I love you and I think about you every day. If I don't
Exactly.
call you for a year and a half or don't see you for 4, does not mean I don't care about you. But if you get in your
Exactly.
own head, you better call me and bring that forward so that we can talk about it and process that, because there is not a day that goes by that I don't care. But that's
Exactly.
because I don't need to fill you up or you fill me up. What we gave each
Exactly.
other was authentically it, and that's what's enough. You'll find those relationships, you'll be a part of those people.
Mhm.
So when you're
Mhm.
constantly being bombarded by these texts and calls and these, why didn't you these and why didn't you that? They are fiending on your energy and they don't have enough
Exactly.
doses of you. So you got to get back to that reality.
Exactly. Those are energy vampires. And you
Mhm.
want to definitely don't want them in your circle. They will drain you and suck you dry till you
Mhm.
have no more. Stop allowing these energy vampires in your world. And
Yeah.
a lot of y'all got them. Some of y'all call them sisters. Some of y'all call them husbands and wives. Some of y'all call them brothers. Some of y'all call
Mhm.
them mama, dad. Some of y'all call them, cousins and uncles and, so and so. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I wanted to touch on this little bit more about your lupus journey and how the body will say fucking enough when you're not willing to listen. Do you mind just sharing a bit of that?
So I was diagnosed with lupus in 2010. And I had just started my book journey. And my papas had told me 3 years prior that I had lupus. And I was like, I ain't got no lupus. You ain't gonna put that on me. Da da da. Baby, I was going out. Well, it took me that long to find it actually because I was sick as a dog and they couldn't find it. They didn't know what was going on. They didn't know what was happening. They didn't know nothing. They could not
Mhm.
figure it out. It was like not showing up. And that's what lupus sometimes do, not just lupus, but autoimmune diseases. Sometimes they
Mhm.
just don't show. And you can flare and flare and flare and flare and flare, and you could be sick and sick and sick and sick and sick, and it will still not show up. Okay. That doesn't mean that something's not wrong with you. It just means that they cannot find it because
Mhm.
autoimmune diseases are very hard to trace. Very hard to trace. This is the reason why so many of us die
Mhm.
because they don't know how to treat us. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to do it. And in my lupus, when I found out that I had lupus, when they finally found it after 3 days of doing every test and under the sun and sticking me 100,000 times and all this other stuff, then because my papa was like, check her for lupus. And they were like, lupus? And he was like, yes. He was like, check her for lupus because my mom has lupus. Like it's hereditary in my family. So check her for lupus. They did. And sure enough, there it was, lying very dormant, but it was there. And it was flaring with a vengeance, but it was lying so dormant that they couldn't even hardly see it.
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, I had to ask myself, what am I going to do? Because it was stopping me from working. It was stopping me from living. It was stopping me from just being living the life that I wanted to live. And when they told me, I just thought I was gonna die. I'm like, lupus, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. Because my grandmother had died, but I didn't understand that she had been with it all her life. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And so I started to research to find out really what it was and what it was and how it was affecting my body. And of course, it's some stuff out there, but it's not a lot of stuff out there. I had
Yeah.
to learn these things along the way. And I had to learn that I could actually slow it down. I couldn't get rid of it, but I could slow it down. I didn't know that because let me just say this: stress is the number one killer.
Mhm.
Stress will take anything you got, anything. It don't matter what it is. If it's some type of dis-ease, y'all hear what I say, dis-ease in your
Mhm.
body, it will literally take it to the next level real fast.
Mhm.
Stress.
Yeah.
And because I was going up under so much pressure and so much stress and all this other things, and in a marriage that I didn't want to be in, and he didn't want to be in, but we were in it, and we were doing bad, and this and that, and this. It was just, we went down through there. It was just horrible.
Mhm.
I literally almost died 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I almost died alone because
Mm.
every time that had happened, he wasn't there. I
Yeah.
was going through that by myself. And that was hard for me. It was hard to have to do this alone, but I
Mhm.
learned how to do it alone, how to be a woman and get through it. We warrior women.
Mhm.
This is the reason why. Because we go through so much hell, we have to learn how to be strong. We have to learn how to be warrior women
Mhm.
because we go through so much hell. And so once I learned how to do that and go through it to the point where it was to the point where I was literally crawling on the floor just to cook, because if I didn't cook, we didn't eat. And so there'd be times that I would be crawling on the floor just to clean up my house because I couldn't stand it to be dirty
Mhm.
and I didn't have any help. But I did that. And so at first I was afraid to leave because I was like, who's going to be there if something was to happen and I'm there by myself? But then I realized, lady, you've been by yourself this whole time. He was
Mm,
there, but he might as well not even been there
yeah.
because it wasn't like he was really just helping you and going all out for you because he wasn't.
Mhm.
So what are you talking about? And a
Yeah.
lot of times we stay thinking that, oh, it is really just because of our fear.
Yeah.
It's just because of our fear and our fear of the unknown. But now I live alone and I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. Just not afraid, you know? And because I've lived alone, I know how to literally take everything like when I'm flaring, I know,
Mhm.
okay, today I'm not doing anything. I'm not getting
Yeah.
out my bed. I'm not doing no extras. I listen to my body. I don't keep pushing it because I was I was talking to one of my friends today and I said, "You know what? I learned in this journey to listen to my body because if I don't and I keep pushing myself, I land myself in the hospital every time. It never fails.
Mhm.
Never, ever, ever fails. It never fails. So I start listening to my body. Oh, I ate too much of this. I need to make sure I'm taking my blood pressure pills. Oh, I didn't take my shot today. I need to make sure I do that. Oh, you know what? I walked. I did this. I did too much of this today. I need to slow down. I
Yeah.
listen to my body. I do not overexert myself anymore because I know what it does to me. I'm watch what I eat and I put in my system because I know what certain foods does to my body. We think that we can do all these things and everything is going to be all right and we can eat and drink and da 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 da. No, we can't. No, we can't. Some of y'all, no, we can't. Some of y'all need to
Mm,
stop drinking right now. Some of y'all need to really stop drinking like you're drinking because you're
mm.
over drinking. And then you're wondering why your body is literally fighting you every day. And it's because the dis-ease in your body cannot handle that alcohol.
Well,
I had
and
to
I
learn that.
yeah, and I think that's where it's just like, especially for people who are struggling with body weight or shopping or other addictions, that's the last time you felt your quote unquote true love or happiness or just some sort of peace. So you got to give yourself a reality that that ice cream or that extra clothing that you just bought or that extra, hit that you just had for your, your weed gummy or those kinds of things. Yes, there's medicine in a dose or a process, but we're just coping 24/7. And that's why um I have this book called The Metaphysical Anatomy. Your Body is Talking, Are You Listening? By Yvette Rose. And this
Mm,
is by some of the doctors. And I wanted to share a little bit about what it said about lupus. And the first sentence out of it is, there may have been an abusive incident within a family that could affect you greatly, whether it was directed at you or not. You felt under attack, verbally or physically. Your own blood, family member, or somebody very close to you, influential people dominated you so much that you gave your power away. Fighting against the authority figures is useless. Long term mistreatment, punishment may have caused you to believe and deserve this punishment, humiliation, abandonment, rejection, and you feel powerless to the change of the cycle and circumstance in your life. You keep yourself and very conscious what others say about you, and you are overly sensitive, on guard, ready to defend yourself, escape the challenge situations. You often misinterpret what others say, expecting an attack or slander, So it just keeps going on to this. So then it comes back to you on these reflective questions. And it says, explore emotions associated to the immune system. Who is the enemy and who is the friend? Who to attack and let in? Feel feeling depressed, devalued in a way. Why? What happened? How did it make you feel? Explore that further in the possibilities. Another one is, are you sabotaging the future in any hope of happiness and of being happy? This is a result from long-term mistreatment, suppression, and being over controlled and influenced by people. This may be where you are unable to feel powerful and deserve good things, feeling happy, free of blame and punishment, mistreatment of your emotions. Explore what has been mistreated, right? Being happy or feeling happy is dangerous. Why? What happened to you when you were happy during your childhood? You may have associated happiness with being attacked, mistreated, or punished, right? This is all proof in the puddings. And I've got another 6 different doctors, therapists, different studies in my shed of my office that literally reiterate this over and over again. Your trauma is in your body. And like you said, your foundation grows weeds, there's garbage, there's weird smells, and there's maybe some Ninja Turtles down there doing their thing that you got to figure out what is happening in your space because your body will finally tell you enough. Enough.
Exactly. 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 Um, I do want to say this too. I want to kind of add to that. Um, when it comes to mental and depression and things like that, in when you have these diseases, it does cause depression
Mm-hmm.
because and then when you said sabotaging, a lot of us do sabotage the relationships that we're in, because that's where that unworthiness come in because we've been told that we're not worthy, we're not enough. And
Mm-hmm.
so I know for me, see, I can only speak for myself, but I know that once I was told these things, I automatically had told myself because I was already in that realm that nobody would want me. Nobody's gonna want me like this. Nobody wants a woman that has lupus that knows that there's things that she's not gonna be able to do. There's things that she's gonna be limited to doing. There's things that um, that just just not possible. And the
Mm-hmm.
fact that possible that I might die before you, you know? It is that possibility that, and so there's a lot of different things and because for people that don't know, lupus is really like cancer. It has stages to it. Okay. I was actually almost into my third stage, um, which when I was with my husband, I was obviously almost into my third stage, getting ready to go into my fourth, but I literally started to reverse it. I learned how to reverse the lupus and slow it down. And
Mm-hmm.
so now my numbers are steady. I have my flares, I do, but they're steady. And now I'm not because I'm not peaking them with stress. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
peaking them with anxiety. I'm not peaking them with foolishness. And so, because I cleared all of that out my way, I pulled up all those weeds because I just refused to have them. Right.
Yeah.
And so, but I felt like there was times where I was sabotaging myself and others because I felt like, why not? Because I knew you weren't gonna ever really love me because you did not want me as this because I'm broken. And we feel like that sometimes we're broken. We're not, you know. And once I came out of that, which means that learning how to love myself, I actually finally realized that I'm not broken.
Mhm.
I'm not broken at all. I'm actually beautiful. You just have to see the beauty within me. And I was only broken because I had told myself that I was broken.
Mhm.
But the whole time, God was creating a perfect image. And I just had to learn that I was perfect through my imperfections and that it's okay. I had to learn that I was worthy. And once I started learning that, I stopped sabotaging myself. Now
Mhm.
I allow people in my circle to try to love me. And once I see them red flags, you gone. I don't wait. I don't wait on the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth and the 10th and the 12th and the 15th. I'm not doing that with you. I see one. All right, thank you. And I'm out the door
Mhm.
because I know that that red flags causes more red flags. And if
Mhm.
you're doing something I already don't like it, I'm not gonna wait to see the next red flag that I know I'm not gonna like. I'm cool. Thank you. Let's just keep on going because sometimes we're not always meant to be together. Because now I know how to love me. And so if I recognize that you don't know how to love you, I know you can't love me
Mhm.
because you don't even know how to love you. You don't even know who you are. And my father told me that he ain't supposed to allow nobody to have me or be with me that don't know themselves. Because if you don't know you, you can't know me. Because how do you love somebody and you don't know how to love yourself? Make it math up,
Yeah.
make it make sense.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's where as you're working through this process, and that's what I kinda wanna gently wrap this with is like there is only so much more mind games and manipulations and coaching yourself through the shit until you just are shit and you will be in that environment. And that is why a lot of people say like, but I can't leave him, or I don't want to leave my family, or she is the love of my life. That's great, that is important. But if that is truly it, then you can't keep enabling, you can't keep fixing. You can't keep doctoring. You can't keep excusing all the shit that just keeps making them be shitty people because you're not
Exactly.
truly loving them. Now, there's a difference to when everybody's like, well, Shanice, that just sounds like conditional love. No, it's not. When you truthfully understand that that person deserves a hell of a lot more and a hell of a lot less problems, then you are willing to arm lock it in and do that push tackle to that fucking finish yard line. You're going to bring that touchdown home. You're going to send that last swing of that baseball run home moment because you know how to do that. But you are always
Exactly.
going to be in the way if you're not going to respect that. And there is nothing else that you and I are going to add extra sugar to make that taste any fucking better.
No, it's like this too. First of all, w- if you don't feel like you worthy, then you're not. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? If you don't feel like we are too busy enabling a lot of the people that we have, that we're being with.
Mhm.
And you have to know what your worth is and stop allowing them to be who they are and accepting
Mhm.
it. If they because basically, how is that really love? Because at the end of the day, you and I should be each other's safe place. We should be each other's comfort place. We should be each other's safety zone. If we're not, you should be my peace pipe and I should be your peace pipe. Put it like that.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I'm not bringing you peace and joy, and I'm always bringing you chaos and foolishness. How can you really say that that's love?
Mhm.
And you may love me. You may do. But ask yourself, do you really love me? the way it is, do you really are you really in love like you say you are?
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, love is kind. Love is gentle. Love don't hurt. If that's hurting you every time you turn around, how can you really say it's love?
Mhm.
What are you loving? Are you loving the pain and the hurt of it?
Right.
Like, we are not honest with ourselves. And a lot of times we feel guilty because we don't want to leave them. We don't want to, well, if I leave, then they won't be able to do X, Y, and so what? Maybe you need to leave them so they can see how important you really was to them. Because a lot of times they take your love for granted, and your love is not supposed to be taken for granted. But if you don't know that and you keep allowing that, then what signal are you sending to them? What are you
Mhm.
really basically what you're saying is you're saying it's okay for you to treat me like this. And they do it because you said it was okay.
Mhm. So how do you then navigate, cuz this is always the question we get and I want to hear it from Lady V herself. In that context, so we know that we have a partner, doesn't matter what sex it is. One is hearing this, they're loving it, they're sending it to their partner. The other partner listens and understands it, but there's a lot more anchors and baggage and things to process. And like, I'm gonna do it, and we're gonna change, and we're gonna build that addition on that house one day. How do you navigate what is authentic time or space to help the other one journey through that in a relationship, if this is truly both people trying to let go of the Titanic that is sinking in their families? How do you work that in a partnership?
I like to tell them that they first of all, you gotta both be in agreement to say, you know what? Because sometimes one to say I'm ready, and when the other
Mhm.
one to say I'm ready, but really ain't ready. See? And we have to recognize that because if a person really ain't ready, they're not gonna do what it takes. They're not gonna complete it. There's no follow through. There's no consistency. There's no completion. And if they're not doing it now, they're not going to do it then. Now, a person who really loves you and know that you know what, I do have these things. I do have these areas where I need to be stronger and I really do want to walk it with you. They will take the necessary steps to conquer that mission because now they are equally yoked with you and they are really trying to gel with you. They're not just bumping heads with you, just, well, I'm trying to figure it out. But now they're really trying to gel and bind with you. And that's what you need in your life. So
Mhm.
know when a person is really being honest and a person who's just bullying you just for the moment.
Mhm.
You know, they just saying what you need to hear for the right now.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Yeah.
what's so crazy is, let me just say this. They've already done that to you so many times before.
Ta-da!
Okay.
Mhm.
See, let's just be honest. They've already done it to you so many times before, and you've already allowed them to do it. So ask yourself, is this the final time or is the last time?
Are you
It's a
tired?
difference.
Are you actually tired?
When you get sick and tired, and I
Mm,
mean really sick and tired, you'll do something about it. Until then, baby, stop wasting your time, their time, and everything about complaining because you
mhm,
really just gonna keep doing the same thing. And then if you gonna keep allowing it, they gonna keep doing it. Don't be mad at them for something that you are allowing them to do to you. What you mad at them for? Be mad at yourself. Check you because you're wrecking yourself. Mm. I know it hurt.
Shattered, ladies and gentlemen. Motherfucking shattered. Lady V, my dear sister. This can always get richer because you are in this world. And thank you so much for your journey and your expression. And where do people find you? Let us know. What do you have in your shelves, your books, your what do you got? We want to hear what you are all about, my dear.
Hey, so you can definitely find me on Linktree. I try to keep it simple and easy for you. You can find me at Linktree Lady VENP, which is Elliot Night Professional. So the the N is like nighttime. And
Mhm.
so, EMP, and so you can find me on all social medias right there as well. On that link, you can find all the interviews that I've done. If you want to just, get in and say, you know what, I just need a word today to keep me uplifted, to keep me
Mhm.
focused and pressured on this journey, on this move, you can do that as well. And then I am starting my course, The Awaken the Rebel Within. Release, rebuild, rebrand your voice. It starts February the 2nd. It's a 21-week course. I'm super duper duper excited about it. That people is going to actually get to roar in their greatness, meaning that they are about to release the old narratives, the old baggage, the limited beliefs, all these things that they need to let go so that they can rebuild their foundation and overcome the obstacles that is standing in their way. Then when you do that, baby, you was about to awaken that little girl, that little boy that's sitting inside of you that is just waiting to just bust it loose, just waiting to explore and say, hey, I am here, I am ready, and I am ready to be great. And once you do that and let that little girl or that little boy out, it is time to rise to the occasion. And that is
Mm.
what we're about to do, baby. We're about to rise and rise and rise and shine bright like a diamond, baby, because that is who God intended us to be. He tells us that we can live abundantly. He say you can have heaven on earth.
Mhm.
You can have heaven on earth. That means we already living in hell. How do you get your heaven? You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you have to know. And if you follow these basic steps, you can find your heaven. You can find your peace. You can find your freedom because I'm going to help you guide you through it on this 21-week transformational journey of releasing, rebuilding, and rebranding your voice. And babe, let me tell you something. It's gonna be an awakening like no other. This journey is not for the faint. I'm only taking 10 people. 5 of the slots are already done, so I only got 5 slots left because this journey is so intense. Now you can do it yourself. You can do that, no problem. Yeah, I don't mind people doing it themselves. If you want to do it yourself,
Mhm.
you can. All you do is pay for the workbook and all that stuff. But it is an investment because you got to invest in you. And what I realized that when people invest in them, they take it a lot more serious than people who don't. And so there is an investment. It's a small investment, but it's a great investment for you. And man, I'm telling you, 21 weeks, you're going to realize in 21 weeks, you're going to be like, oh my goodness. I didn't
Mhm.
know I was holding on to so much, but now I feel free because
Yeah.
you're going to be free to be just authentically who you are, who God made you to be, created you to be. And
Mhm.
so that you can, man, take this course. Definitely take this course. Okay. There's only 5 slots left. And again,
Perfect.
and so you can find me again on all social media. I also have my podcast as well, Too Gone Too Long, Judgment Free Network. And so again, if all that stuff is on that one link. Linktree, Lady VENP. That's where you can find me. So hey, hit me
Amazing.
up, let me know, say that you saw me over here at the niche. Like, let's get it in.
And we are honored to officially anoint you as a niche network connection. So we will have all of Lady V's information. And people, this is not the last time you're going to see this duo tango on this dance floor. We are going to bring in something like no other. And like you say, you got to start investing into yourself. And that's why this mission this year has really been about, we want to show you, we want to connect to you. Maybe we have worked a lot personally with myself and whoever's listening, and that's where I'm like, if you can't hear it from me, go talk to Lady V. If you can't hear from Lady V, you're going to talk to somebody else that we're going to be journeying on this. But stop blaming and saying that there's no help for you out there, because there's a whole
Exactly.
goddamn nation ready for you to wake the fuck up. So
We're
shatter it
waiting.
with it, and here we go.
Let's do this thing.
Amazing. Well, so much blessing and love to you, my dear Lady V. And thank you all who have hit in for a longer set. But you know me, I can talk for an eternity on what this journey has been. And yeah, we can't wait to have you all listen and chime in to this. But thank you again, Lady V. And we will be seeing you all shortly. Take care now.
Hey, thank you again for having me. I truly, truly, truly gratefully appreciate it. It's really been an honor, and I cannot wait to come back as well. But hey, I just want to send this out before we close and just say, hey, you are worthy. You are more than enough. And if nobody ever tell it to you, remember that Lady V told you that you are worthy and you are more than enough. So Lady V love you, but remember, God loves you more. Good night.
Amen. Night night, everybody.